Today's Coach's Corner question is, I am dying to start my own business. When do I quit my current job and focus full-time on building my own business? Now, you and I have talked about this off and on. And, Joe, I've actually changed my opinion on this a bit over time. Part of the problem here is...
You have evolved.
Well, kind of like you did on the business plan topic we had earlier.
Yeah.
But,
no, you educated me on that one.
Well, maybe you did a little bit on me, so I might take some of your thunder off this. But the problem is to start a small business. We mentioned it earlier. You got to work 24/7 to really get it going. And so how do you do that and also keep your current job? So I used to say if you're serious about it, you better just jump in and make it work. Although I've kind of changed my tune on that. I'm saying now, well, don't jump too soon. And the first thing I'd suggest is that you make sure that you're being, pulled to starting a new business rather than getting pushed from your current job. In other words, make sure you're not going to start your own business because you get ticked off at your boss and you hate to be bossed around and you're bored with your job and whatever. I mean, those are reasons maybe to find a different job, but it's not necessarily reasons to start a new business if there isn't some passion and some knowledge and something that works. Secondly, although it's going to be very stressful to keep a job and also get a small business started, it gives you the time. It gives you the time to find new clients, to test out your product, your business model, your service. Do people really want it? Do I have something that's sellable? And maybe even get those first clients so that you've got some cash flow going. I call it the tilting point. And how you define the tilting point, I don't know. But the tilting point is when, I know enough that I can be successful at the small business to decide to leave my current job. And so there is a tilting point at some place, and ideally it's when you think you've created enough cash flow with customers to get started, so that you can pay the bills. And again, the trouble is it takes so much time to really get a business started that it's tough to hold down a full-time job. But in the meantime, if you started a business and you failed and you have no backup, then you've got a financial problem. So those are my comments on that. Don't jump too soon. Test it out. Take the opportunity to make sure you got a business before you start it.
Yeah, I think you did kind of steal my thunder just a little bit. And again, it's important everybody listening understands. You're the coach. You like to say that I preach and you teach, so I'll give you a little preaching. Take the advice if you want or not.
Joe.
Yeah, but it always is this catch-22. You're darned if you do, you're darned if you don't. So, yes, you're right. If you don't give it 24/7, you're not going to be able to, get this thing to the level you want it at. But I'm just not a fan of quitting a job unless your spouse has a good job that pays all of the bills and that sort of stuff.
That's a good point,
And
too.
if that happens, then I'm all for you going in 24/7 and making it work. If not, if you are the breadwinner, I just don't want you to stop creating the revenue because it wouldn't be good business sense to do that. So what you're going to have to do is then come up with a action plan that may in fact require you to hire some people to do some stuff during the day that in fact you can't do because you've got a full-time job. So you may not be able to give it your time, but you may very well have to give it more money to get it jump started and get it up off the ground. So it is the view of how you decide to grow the business changes. It's a completely different model. But I got to be honest with you, Wayne, when I read this, I'm dying to start my own business. The truth is, the business will just create itself. If there really is a product, if there really is a service, if the market really wants it, you're going to find it just starting to work and take on a life of its own. If you're pushing it and rolling it up a hill, you've got a long way to go, and I suggest you keep that job. You got something to say?
Yeah,
Dave?
I think there's your comments are right on target, and I think a lot of times people will have a business idea and they think, "Gosh, I'm going to get ready to jump into it." You have to be flexible in what you expect to draw from your business to support, as you mentioned earlier. If I'm making whatever $50,000 a year or $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 a month. If I'm going to start my own business, I have to be flexible enough to realize that maybe I can't draw that $4,000 out of that month. So,
no maybe about it.
Yeah, you have to be completely
and plan
flexible.
on it not happening as soon as you think it will.
Exactly. So your point is to making sure that you have some fiscal foundation is right on target.
I like that. Fiscal foundation. I like that.
That's why we bring David Bradley in from the Statesville Chamber.
Is he not spectacular? I mean, he's bringing just good little tidbits of taglines with us.
Yeah, we're smoking.
We're smoking.
We're smoking.
Well, it's a great question. Someone that's got a job, and I was tempted to say exactly, Joe, because I hadn't covered the fact that having a working spouse makes a difference, and you can hire some people to get some things done for you. Assuming the cash flow supports
My
it.
wife has bailed me out of many a bad years. There's no question about it.
I'm sure of that. So anyway, that's today's Coach's Corner question. If you've got any business questions you'd like us to address, remember our opening promo always says there's no business problem on which we cannot have a solution. And so far, so good. So let us know at the station if you've got a question you'd like us to cover, and that's today's Coach's Corner question.